And hit record. Good evening, good day, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. Welcome to Geechee Line Journey YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. We want to say like, share, and subscribe. I believe among the over 100 videos that has been produced on this channel, I'm pretty sure there's something there that is going to pique your interest and move you to want to follow us for whatever reason. But I want to say this is Anwar Kente here. I'm here on behalf of Geechee Line Music, Geechee Line LLC. That doesn't mean Lapu Lapu City. It's LLC, business organization. We're continuing my series on my journey, physical travel experience journey here in the Philippines. I've been in the Philippines for about 10 weeks. Currently, I'm in Davao City. Of course, we're going to talk about that probably on a later vlog, but I have already released some vlogs regarding Davao, and there'll probably be some more. But today, we want to concentrate on what I'm calling the tour of duty in Tacloban. And when we actually get to that, I'll tell you why I'm calling it the tour of duty. So I have my regular guest co-host here, Dana Milton here, Best Fares for Travel, Best Fares for Travel Consultancy. And I'm actually on the last leg of his booking for me. I'm staying at the Strand Hotel here in Davao. And he booked this for me. So we're going to talk about, as a starting point, let me just say, we touched on the fact that I was in San Carlos last time for the most part. And I just want to say briefly, I had a pretty good time there. I have pretty good hospitality here, but I don't know, some of you may know Calvin from Sunshine Shoulders vlog. I stayed in his place like 3 or 4 days. He was a good host. I really enjoyed his girlfriend's mother. Her name was Salvacion. I had a very good time with her. And of course, she was featured on a few of my videos. But San Carlos is definitely someplace I'm looking at. Possibly I might want to have a home base there. But just want to acknowledge that they had a good time. Thanks, Calvin, for your hospitality that's showing me around. But from San Carlos, one thing I like about it, it's a nice centralized point to go to other cities. The city we getting ready to talk about now, first of all, it's easy. Within 2 or 3 hours, I think, I was able to catch a ferry from San Carlos over to Toledo City, and I took a bus from Toledo City to Cebu. And it was pretty convenient to do so, which I appreciated that. Cebu, again, is the place where I first landed when I went to the Philippines. I like Cebu. I have positive imagery of Cebu, and it's a very good possibility that I may use Cebu as a home base. But when I left San Carlos and I did go to Cebu, I was able to get to again take some walks through the barangay. I visited Ayala Mall. We're talking about what I did do for those few days when I went back to Cebu. I finally went to Ayala Mall. I knew that I needed to change my return flight to America. So I was able to meet a nice young lady, Filipino travel agent that was nearby my hotel in Cebu. And she helped me hook me up really with the representative of the airline. And I was actually able to go to the airline office, which is located near Ayala Mall. And I was able to successfully and easily change my flight to a later date. So that's something you all, when you come to the Philippines, you know you must show a return ticket with a return date of 30 days from arrival. Of course, that's what I did. Obviously, I extended my visa, so I was not going to use that ticket. So I took that opportunity. I was able to go to the airline and change that ticket to a future date. I believe I paid $100 American, but that was okay. I had no problem with that. So I was able to easily extend that flight out until May, which is when I'm actually planning on going back. So this is really travel agent talk. Really, I'm talking now. I mean, this thing that if you hire Dana, he will consult and tell you this, that you can do this. So throughout this process, I would occasionally contact him and tell him what was going on. So I thank him for that. Very good time again. Very good time in Cebu. Met some very friendly people there, especially what one comes to mind right now, the people that I interviewed in the barangay. I did a vlog on it. Just check my vlogs when I was in the barangay and had a nice conversation and visit with a mother there and her daughter. And also shout out to a beautiful young lady, Jenna Beth, who works at the 808 Pizza. 808 Pizza, one of my favorite places to eat now in Cebu. Definitely. I enjoyed a great time I had with Jenna Beth there. Wonderful hospitality. And you go to that pizza place, I'm giving you a recommendation. Those of you who like the American style pizza that you would find there, that is comparable. So I just want to give a shout out to Genevieve at 808 Pizza. But during that 4 or 5 days, then there's some other things. Again, I just can say I enjoyed that time. But what we want to get into now is my tour of duty, the tour of duty in Tacloban. I was saying, why did I go to Tacloban? Well, I was formerly, about 5 years ago now, affiliated with an organization called All Hands and Hearts. And at that time, there have been some earthquakes in Mexico. And I actually went online and looked for opportunities to volunteer. And my first choice was Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico program wasn't available. It was full. So the next one I looked at was Mexico, and I accepted that. And I'm glad I did. That was a life-changing experience. Won't get into that here, but I met people from all over the world, male, female. There was a Filipino man there that came to be a key person that I met there, Filipino in Mexico. So because of that experience, I wanted to work with them again. So I actually signed up to volunteer because there's a typhoon, Yolanda, that occurred in Tacloban almost exactly 10 years ago. And I signed up. I was able to sign up for that program, and I made a commitment to be with them for 3.5 weeks at the camp, at the barracks, if you will, for my tour of duty commitment there to help those local people there. But before I did that, of course, I wanted to get into Tacloban and kind of get established and kind of get a lay of the land. So Dana Milton, who you see on the screen, helped me book a hotel there in downtown Tacloban. I stayed at the Asia Stars Hotel that weekend. And it's a nice, centrally located hotel. Literally, you can throw a rock almost at the SM Mall, and right on the next street over, you could catch the bus that I needed to take up to North Tacloban. So it was very convenient. Convenience to get to the Robinson, everything. But ultimately, on that Monday, October 16th, I finally got on that bus and went up to the barracks, if you will, the camp up in North Tacloban, where I would be volunteering for the next 3.5 weeks again for Typhoon Yolanda recovery program there in North Tacloban. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give the floor over to Dana Middleton about, I guess, my experiences there in Tacloban, period, because it was very, very eventful. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, thank you so much. Listen, I guess as a travel agent, I want to start my portion of this is I know you flew out of Cebu,
Yeah.
and about how long was your flight to Tacloban?
The flight to Tacloban was less than 1 hour. Less than 1 hour.
Okay, okay. And you flew Cebu Pacific?
Cebu Pacific, direct flight from Cebu to Tacloban.
Okay, so not nonstop.
Non-stop.
Okay. I know you were pleased with the booking for your hotel that we got for you.
Yes.
And you got there a couple of days early. Were you able to get around and see some things and eat some local foods while you were in Tacloban before you left?
Let me just tell you about that initial weekend before I reported for the camp. I did meet another Black American there, about 40-ish, about 40 years old from New York. And we had a very good conversation. I guess he was there, visiting his Filipino love or what have you. So he was actually staying in the same hotel as I. And we had several conversations. We talked about what his career was. I told him I retired and I was a musician and all of that. And we talked about the girls and the marital status and things to do, how the women respond to us and all this kind of stuff, because he's Black. And he was just there for, quote, a vacation. He had to go back, to New York. But he told me about this karaoke place, which I did actually go check it out, but I never actually went back there for karaoke because when I went there, it wasn't really active, wasn't anything going on. But he did point out to me some of the local eateries and spots there in Tacloban. Most everything that I needed that a traveler would need to get to can be reached by foot. They can walk. They can walk to the SM Mall. They can walk to the Jollibee. They can walk to Chow King. The bus right there for them to go to Robinson. If they want to go to Robinson, is right there. If they want to go to immigration office is kind of literally walking distance if somebody wants to walk a little bit, or a short trike
Okay.
ride. And that trike, I believe you wouldn't even spend 50 pesos. What's 50 pesos? That's $1. So you wouldn't even spend $1 to get a trike to take you, if you wanted to go just about anywhere in that downtown area, including immigration.
Well, with today's exchange rate to the US dollar, it'd end up being about 93 cents.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Was Tacloban, how did it compare as far as cleanliness to some of the other stops that you've made so far?
I'm going to say that, let me just word this right. It is not as clean nowhere near as clean as Iloilo was, or as even what I found Davao to be. And I'm in Davao and it's relatively clean here. They definitely look like they've had some challenges. Obviously, you had the typhoons go through there. A lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of buildings that in disrepair,
Yeah.
abandoned, street infrastructure. There's that word, infrastructure. Streets tore up, sidewalks tore up. But I mean, as far as economic activity, one of the most bustling places I've ever seen. Now, if you've been in what we call the ghetto in America, and you think, okay, that looks run down and look like a war zone, and we call Chicago Chirac and all, and New Jack City and all this stuff, is bad. I mean, physically on the outside, just at first glance, their economic activity was off the charts. I mean, all kind of merchants on the sidewalk, on the storefront, in places you think look like a back alley. They had street food back there. They had the sorry. They had the people with their tables, merchants set up. But I mean, that's just something I just observed when I looked at. I said, look at this place, and I found out when I was in the barangay in Cebu. Physically look at this place, but then look at what the Filipinos, how they're responding to it, trying to make a living, and survive and do what they need to do to make it in that type of environment.
And always smiling.
Very impressive, very impressive. Mostly you hardly ever see. Occasionally you'll see, you'll see some people begging. And I was looking at some of the damn animals there, man. The dog looked like if the dog could talk, he would like say, I'm poor as hell. I mean, just like he could literally, sing the blues. If you put a mic up to the dog, he could sing the blues. I mean, that's the way it looked to me.
Okay. Well, you got on the bus and you went up to your assignment.
Yes.
And I know you met the staff, but you had met the staff down in Tacloban before you
yes, actually
before you went up
staff,
there.
right. A couple of representatives of the staff came and had a little get together at a local eatery. They're walking distance from the hotel. So I did get a chance to meet a few of them prior to reporting up there.
Right. Okay. So now I know I had sent you a 10-day weather, or not a weather forecast.
Yes.
And then I was sending you weather forecast every day.
Yeah.
And so I do know that you did face quite a bit of rain.
Yes.
However, saying quite a bit of rain, that can be taken different ways. Here in the West, when we talk about quite a bit of rain, most people are thinking that it's going to rain all day.
Yeah.
And as you can speak about,
right,
because you did see a lot of days with rain, but
sure
it wasn't
did.
like it rained all day, was it?
No, but it rained. I mean, it rained by 80% of the days I was there. It rained, but it would rain for that 30 minutes or whatever it was, and sometimes it would stop our work on the construction site, but then it would stop. Now, one thing we didn't do, I did dodge the big rain. Didn't hit until after I left Tacloban. I don't know if you know, Samar Island was very hard hit.
Yeah.
By something there. I saw people, places flooded and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was a low pressure area that was off the coast of Samar. So they got quite a bit of rain.
And Samar is right there.
I think we probably need to also explain to people that geographically, the island of Samar is right across the channel from Tacloban. Tacloban is actually in Leyte, and Samar is right across the channel.
Right.
And they are both large islands. So
Yes.
they're, matter of fact, both of those islands are larger than Manhattan. Okay.
Yeah. Manhattan,
So
which is an island.
yeah.
But I want to say that where I was in Tacloban, if in Tacloban, there is a bridge called the San Juanico Bridge, which
Mm-hmm.
connects Leyte and Samar. And our camp, barracks, was close to that, the San Juanico Bridge.
Right.
Or I would call it the San Juanico Bay, like the San Francisco Bay. So we'll talk about that because I did not get a chance to go on the bridge, but I did spend some time on like a beachfront area adjacent on that bay, which we'll talk about.
Okay. Let me ask you this: in your workstation there, and on
Yeah,
your project, how many countries were represented by the volunteers that you were working with?
I want to say I'm going to estimate 15. I know we had the UK, we had France, we had someone that was there from Virgin Islands. We had I think Colombia was in the house. What's another one? Australia, of course, was there. Portugal,
Okay.
Spain. So I'm going to say about 10 to 15 countries were represented
United
there.
States.
Oh, yeah, I said the United States first because we had some Texas contingent there.
Okay. All right. Now,
Male and female, male and female. I
yeah.
almost want to say equal amount of males and females
Okay.
on that
All right.
site.
All right. And um, your duties, did you have the same duties every day, or did you rotate duties and, different days you'd be doing different things? How was that set up?
Yes. The way it's set up is the workers would go over and have a meeting prior to the start of the workday where the site construction leader would basically outline what needed to be accomplished that day. And he would actually post on the board, these are the tasks that need to be accomplished, whether it be working with the bamboo, whether it be working with the masons, whether it be cutting some lumber, whether it be hauling gravel, hauling sand, mixing cement, installing metal mesh, various things would be listed according to what was needed in that day. And then at the end of the meeting, after he does his talk, his spiel to the people, and then we do a little calisthenics. Usually put some music on, and he would pick out 5 or 6 people, and they would do a stretch, and then everybody would have to stretch and mimic, whatever they did with whatever the stretch was or exercise, what have you. And then the people were allowed to sign up for what duties they wanted.
Okay.
So in my particular case, um, I did various things. I hauled some gravel, hauled some sand, made some, put sand in buckets, uh, got the
Built
gravel
up
put
those
in the
muscles a
bucket.
little bit, huh?
Yeah, to use the muscles a little bit. I pushed the wheelbarrow, some. Did some hammering, nailing. I mixed some cement on the table because there was some things they call spacers that was needed for the masonry, spacing between the metal mesh and the gravel.
Okay.
So I did some of that tabletop mixing. Also, we bailed water because you know it rained, so we had to do a lot of bailing water
Yeah.
out of where the septic tanks were being constructed. So I have a little video there that I was helping the people I was helping, the Masons. And all the Masons were local Filipinos that
Okay.
live in that area.
Okay. Now, I'm curious.
You
Uh,
curious?
there was one video that you did where you got up early one morning
Yeah,
and went over to the highway
yeah,
and you chatted and photographed uh, a lot of the locals that morning. And did
yeah.
you ever find out, was that just a regular workforce from that area going into town? Or was that election day? I think you might have mentioned.
Right. I
What was the
believe,
activity that was sponsoring all of that?
right. I believe it was a combination of things. I believe that might have been one of the local or national holidays there in Tacloban. Also, it happened to be early in the morning, so that spot right adjacent to the barracks, that's where the bus stops are. So yeah, a lot of people lining up for the buses. Now it looked like more than usual. And again, I'm thinking because it was election going on and also, a national holiday. And anyway, I would call it the morning rush anyway. So I did get a chance, I took, a few minutes of video and had a nice little jovial banter there with some with some of the people waiting for
It looked to me like you were getting flirted with for a couple of times there.
Yeah, I know. I said, what was that? You say I was single, then you saw
I'm
the women
saying,
was falling. I said, ah,
they
yeah,
might not let you out of there.
yeah. I tell you, I was looking back there. They were looking back at me a little bit more. But yeah, so I just took that opportunity because I think by it being a national holiday, we didn't have to work on site. So that
Okay,
freed me up to be able to go out there and do that.
right. Okay. Um, all right. So you were there 3.5 weeks, right?
I was in the camp. I was in Tacloban for a month.
No, but I'm talking
So
about at the camp.
3.5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
about 26 days, about the same length of time I'm in Davao.
okay. And I know that you had an opportunity when you finished your work, your assignment at the camp. You went down into Tacloban proper
Yeah,
and ran into one of our favorite bloggers while you were there. You want
yeah.
to
I
talk
won't.
about that?
Yeah. We can talk about that. I won't say I ran into him. I did a little effort to pursue or to let him know that I was in town and that hey, I think it'd be good if we meet since I was in Tacloban for a whole month. It would have been crazy for me to be in Tacloban and not meet the black man in the village, Will, who actually I think he's married and I think he lives in a town on the south side of Tacloban or just
Okay.
outside the city limits. So I finally tracked him down and got him. We met on the Friday before I left. And I actually skipped the evening meeting at the camp and we arranged to meet at the Robinson, not the Robinson on the bus line. He actually was on another further Robinson. So when I went to Robinson, I had to get another bus shuttle to go to the other Robinson. So it wasn't that easy. But
Okay.
I was able to get there. Took extra, much extra travel time. Um, I think he got there before I did. I let him know I was there. He knew I was there. And I think we were both wandering around the mall. And then we finally found each other. And then from that point on, we went on, walked around, and he
Well,
took me back to
well,
where his
well,
wife was sitting. Also, there was another couple there, people that he knew that I think he didn't know they were going to be there. So they had this very nice place here at Robinson. I forgot the name of the place, but it's like outdoor dining, outdoor seating. And
okay,
they have a stage there where they had a live band performing while the people were dining.
okay.
So that was it was very nice, and he was very nice, very cordial, friendly to me. He basically treated me to dinner, so I got a chance to eat a little bit, drink a little bit by will. Um, we did venture out into the mall. We had talked about the Wi-Fi internet situation there. So Will told me about this thing called a pocket Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
we went to one of the stores in there, and I was able to be shown that pocket Wi-Fi. So I actually did purchase one. I didn't purchase it that night because I needed my passport and I didn't have it. I didn't even have my copy. But I did end up buying that. I'm going to start using it because if you use that, and this is a travel tip, y'all, you get this pocket Wi-Fi, all you have to do is just feed the load to that. And then whatever devices you have, let it connect onto your Wi-Fi. So then your Wi-Fi then is the only thing you have to keep data in. So that is a convenience thing. I'm going to really start using that once I am not, up under the hotels all the time. Well, like I said, I'm sitting in the hotel 89% of the time. I don't care about no load because I got Wi-Fi. But that was a very good tip that Will gave. And I'm planning on going back to Tacloban because I have to go back there to pick up my ACR card, which I found out that I went to one of the same organization that helped me and Calvin renew our visa. And I asked her about this ACR card, and I told her I renewed it in Tacloban. And she told me, I showed her my paperwork. She showed me, hey, you already paid for the ACR card. You just had to go back and get it. So I'll be going back to Tacloban anyway for that, to get that. But that was another bit of information that I picked up, and that the people who are viewing this should know. After that first renewal, when you renew again, especially if you renew it more, extended longer than 60 days, you pay, and she showed it to me, you pay for your ACR card. So if you plan on staying in the Philippines, you pay for your ACR card. You just have to go back to the place where you renewed. In this case for me, it's Tacloban. Go back there and get my ACR card.
Okay, well, I know that some people are saying, depending on where you get your ACR, some people are saying they can get it back to them in a week. Some people said it took almost 2 weeks. And I think the more remote locations, it takes a little bit longer than it would if you were in a bigger city. Because basically they need to do a background check on you before they release the card to you.
Right. Because I think in my case, no, I got my visa right. When I went into Tacloban on the hill, I got mine while I waited. It was less than an hour. I walked out of there with my visa.
That's great.
But not the ACR card. They actually had a date. I had to go call them to contact them to do it again. Let me say this, so we don't lose no continuity of this. We gonna come back, and this particular vlog, we gonna stop it. This gonna be part one. But we gonna keep on rolling, me and Dana, because I'm gonna come right on back, Dana, with part two. We're gonna continue to get down here with the tour of duty into Tacloban. So I want y'all to, in a day or a couple of days here, I will air part two of this, the tour of duty into Tacloban. This is Geechee Lion Journey here with my guest Dana Middleton. We're going to continue talking about this. Thank you for listening. Catch us next time. Thank you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.